Back in 2009, the marketing for Jennifer's Body told us what this movie was supposed to be. It was marketed as a brainless, sexy horror movie meant for teenage boys. And honestly, that marketing is the exact reason that it took me so long to watch Jennifer's Body. The trailers completely lied to us. Look around the internet today and everyone is calling it a feminist masterpiece. They talk about how ahead of its time it was and about how we finally get it now. And yeah, that is true. But all of the online hype surrounding Jennifer's Body misses the real heavy point. Jennifer Check was performing long before any demons showed up. The douchebags in that indie band, they didn't create the hunger inside her. They just took what the world was already doing to her and made it literal. Hi, I'm Brandy, otherwise known as the Terrorific Lady, and welcome back to Retro Horror School, where we discuss, dissect, and analyze horror from the 1970s through the 2010s, and talk about horror like it matters. Because it does. In this video for the Horror That Raised Us series, we're looking at Jennifer's Body as a warning about a brutal trap. It's a difference that young women and women everywhere needed to know at the time, and still need to know now. There is a big difference between being wanted versus being valued.
Wear something cute, okay? Okay.
To understand why this movie matters, you have to look at what women were being told in the 2000s. It was the era of low-rise jeans, heroin chic, and the exhausting cool girl rule. You had to be hypersexual, but you also had to be pure. You had to look effortless with what you wore, but also curated and put together at the same time. Jennifer's Body put that exact pressure on screen and showed us that daily performance is the horror movie. Before anything supernatural even happens, look at how Jennifer acts. She is performing 24/7 for the boys, for the school, for whatever room that she ends up walking into. She tells Needy, we have all the power. What she calls power is just her body.
We have all the power. Don't you know that these things, these are like a smart bomb?
She genuinely thinks that getting people to turn their heads and look at her means that she matters. She has mistaken temporary attention for having value. That attention is a massive trap because being wanted means someone is looking to you for what you can provide them and nothing more. And that's it. It's totally selfish. It means that your worth disappears the minute that they get bored or move on to someone else. You don't have power, you're a product in high demand. And what happens to a product? It gets used up. Enter low shoulder. For those douchebags, Jennifer's life and her humanity have zero value. They only want her body as raw material to trade for a record deal. They sacrifice her, they get a hit, and the world rewards them for it. And here's a twist that some people walk right past. Jennifer's personality doesn't change just because she gets possessed. She's still performing and still using her sexuality to isolate boys. She's still the insecure girl who so desperately needs to be the center of attention. What changes is the maintenance cost of remaining wanted. Before the ritual, chasing validation drained her spirit slowly. After, it literally drains her. If she stops seducing and consuming boys, she starts to rot. She becomes pale, sick, and weak. The hunger is literal because the economy of being wanted is a monster that constantly needs to keep being fed. If the performance is the only thing that's keeping you alive, you will do anything to maintain it.
I am going to eat your soul.
The real tragedy of this movie is Jennifer is surrounded by people who want her, but she has only one person that values her, and that's Needy. Being valued means that you are appreciated for exactly who you are. And Needy keeps showing up for a person who is actively destroying everything around them. That brief kiss they share in the bedroom, the one that the 2009 trailers marketed as cheap exploitation for guys, is the only moment of genuine, unperformed intimacy in the entire movie. In that room, neither of them are performing or trying to be wanted. Needy values Jennifer, and Jennifer even says, hey, we could play girlfriend and boyfriend like we used to. Jennifer wants this intimacy. However, Jennifer is addicted to the cheap high of being wanted by strangers and also consuming them, and thus she cannot accept being valued by her best friend. She chooses the performance over the relationship, causing Needy to eventually destroy her, but not before Needy is bitten herself by Jennifer. Even when Needy stabs her in the heart, Jennifer's last words are her crying about her body, vain and performing until her very last breath. Now, the very end, during the credits, is what sticks out to me the most, because it flips the entire dynamic on its head. Needy breaks out of prison with her dark demon powers that were given to her by Jennifer's bite. And she goes straight after Lo's shoulder, the ones who started this whole thing to begin with. The guys who sacrificed a girl to Satan to get famous. When she hunts them down, it is the ultimate revenge against a world that only cares about what it can take from you. She doesn't do it to become Jennifer. She does it to stop playing the game entirely and finally direct the rage at the right target. Pull all these threads together and the picture is devastating. Jennifer's body shows what happens when a girl's desirability is treated as a resource and mined before she even gets to decide who she is as a person and who she wants to be. And it shows us through Needy that surviving a culture like that doesn't mean you get a clean ending. It means you leave with scars, directed rage, and a refusal to play the game anymore. The movie whispered a raw, jagged truth in 2009 to young girls when no one else is being honest with them. You're being consumed. The pretty performance will not protect you. So stop trying to be wanted and start realizing what you're worth. Thank you so much for watching this video on Jennifer's Body. I want to know in the comments when you watch this film today, what hits you the hardest. And be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Hit the like button, share, hype up the video, because all of that really helps out the channel. Next time on The Horror That Raised Us, we are going to step into the world of Insidious. We're staying with the question on what millennials were taught and what happens when the space inside your own head is no longer safe. As always, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Class is dismissed for now, but I'll see you next time. Bye!
I am going to eat your soul and shit it out, Nikki!
Thought you only murdered boys.
I go both ways.